In this video, I'll show you how to plan several buildings in one project, with stories you can edit independently. There are two options to do this. The first option is to plan two buildings in separate files, save them, and then merge them into one file. I have a project open here, and I want to insert a second building into this project. Before importing, I can draw construction lines to place the new building precisely at a specific location. I can set it using guides. First, I go to the 2D Elements tab. In the subcategory Guide Elements, I choose Guide. Next, I must specify a point where I will place the guide. If I move the mouse over this wall, you'll see a red dashed line. If I want the imported building to lie on the same axis as the existing building, I select this point, click once with the mouse, and can now define the direction of the guide. With another click, I place it. It's also possible to draw a guideline at a distance from the existing building. For this, go to Guide Elements and select Parallel. Again, I pick a starting point for the guideline. I select the left exterior wall, and after one click, I can enter a value that indicates the distance to the starting point. I enter 500. Confirm with Enter or OK, and then choose on which side of the origin I want to place my line. I move the mouse to the left side and click again to place the line. This places the guideline at a distance of 5 meters from the building. Since I want to place the building freely, I delete the guides now. Next, I import the second building. To do this, click File in the top left of the screen and then Import. There, I choose the project I previously drew and saved in a separate file to import. The building can now be moved with the mouse and placed at the desired spot with a left click. I switch to 3D mode to view the two buildings. In Layer Management, I can see that, in addition to the original building's stories, the ones of the newly imported building are now shown. This is why it's important to draw both buildings in separate files. Now I have the ability to edit the stories of each building independently. For example, I select this story and click Edit Selected Story. Then increase the story height. As you can see, only the imported building's height was adjusted. I can also rename the stories individually to get a better overview. The second option is to create stories for a new building. Even with this method, the stories of different buildings can be edited independently. Go to Construction mode and in the subcategory Project Structure, click on Story. Here you'll find, among other things, the same options to add stories as in Layer Management. But you'll also find the option New Story in New Building. It's important to create the new story here and not in the layer management, otherwise the stories of the buildings cannot be edited independently. I click the function New Story in New Building and can name the building first. I name it House 2 and confirm with OK. Then a window with the story settings opens. I leave everything as it is and click OK. The newly created story is empty at first, so we don't see a building here yet. You could simply draw one. Instead, I copy the ground floor of the existing building. In Layer Management, set the visibility of stories under Visible Stories to Current. With Ctrl+C, I copy the ground floor, and after that it's important to set our newly created story for the second building as the active story by moving the blue dot. Once I've switched the stories, I can press Ctrl+V, and by moving the mouse, choose the position where the building should be placed. With a click, I place it. Of course, you can also use guides here, as explained before, or draw the second building freely by yourself instead of copying it. If we view the two buildings in 3D mode now, you'll see that the ground floor of both buildings has the same height. I want the newly inserted story to have a larger, clear height, so I go back to Layer Management and choose Edit Selected Story. Here, I enter a higher value for clearance. For demonstration, it's a bit exaggerated, but the important thing is that you can see both stories can be edited independently.